As a kid with a German grandmother, the Goethe-Institut was always something that hovered at the edges of my awareness. I knew it had something to do with Germany and possibly to do with the concerts that my grandmother would attend in Dublin from time to time, but beyond that I hadn't much idea. As a teenager, I became more aware of all the fantastic European language and cultural institutions in Dublin, for example, the Alliance Française, the Italian Institute, and the Goethe-Institut. But my relationship with the Goethe-Institut itself was somewhat on the edges until about 1996. That year, I took part in an English language production of Bertolt Brecht's play Furcht und Elend des Dritten Reiches, or Fear and Misery of the Third Reich. The Goethe-Institut was a sponsor, and we did a run in the autumn in the ground floor offices of Merrion Square. Every time I go to Merrion Square, I get a flashback of what it was like to perform there. I remember the layout of the stage with the audience either side facing each other, almost like spectators at a gladiatorial combat. Or maybe they were jurors, coolly assessing the fear and the misery of the people of the Third Reich as it played out in front of them. After 1996, I had many more experiences of working with the Goethe-Institut. I remember doing an interview for a theatre scholarship in Berlin in 1997, upstairs in Merrion Square. And then I started doing some classes in the early noughties. I did some conversation classes with the redoubtable und so lebendig Unterrichterin Jutta Branach, which were fantastic. And I also did a couple of literature courses with Marlise Maguire, who is always sensitive and always fascinating as she guided us through the literature of the DDR and Österreich. And I experienced some brilliant books that I just wouldn't have had the opportunity of reading without those classes. I also, in recent years, I've started working with the librarians, first of all with Anna Klapperstuck, and then most recently with the current head of library services, Oya Demirci. I wrote an essay to celebrate the launch of the wonderful and beautifully renovated library in Merrion Square, and Oya had a designer come on board who turned the essay into a single handmade fold-out book, which is just such a beautiful object. And there were many other books made to celebrate the new library. And this year I did an interview with a wonderful German author, Dörte Hansen, which unfortunately we did online. We weren't able to be in Merrion Square, but I think the spirit of Merrion Square was with us. And I think that's really the important thing about culture. It's a thing that's physical. People perform, people speak, people listen to music, people look at art. But it's also a thing of the spirit. Culture is the lifeblood of a nation, and it allows a nation to communicate something very unique and something very special about itself. But also culture can allow that nation to transcend its geopolitical boundaries and entangle itself and grow by mixing and reflecting off other cultures and other nations. And that, to me, is the point of something like the Goethe-Institut. That, to me, is what's behind all those happy memories that I have. That feeling of expansive and special and unique communication. I've had brilliant memories over the last 25 years, and I look forward to having equally brilliant memories in the years to come. Zum Wohl.